Welcome everybody, my name is Crystal Welch, Triple Diamond Distributor for It Works Global, and I want to welcome you to our live wrap party. So what we're going to do is we are going to go through some information about this crazy wrap thing, who we are, what we do, and then you'll get to hear from some amazing leaders that I've asked to join us tonight and share their stories. And so first off, just a little bit of housekeeping. If you are a guest that has been invited by a distributor, please make sure that you talk to that distributor that invited you tonight. And for the distributors out there, if you can make sure not to post your personal websites just because we have tons of distributors and guests on tonight. And make sure that you guys check in so we know who's out there and on with us today. All right? So let me just do a little bit to make sure we're on and you guys can see us. Yep, looks like everything is good. And it looks like people are definitely checking in. Awesome. So if you have questions, you can also comment below and we will answer those questions. I'll keep my eye out on what's going on there so I can answer questions as well. So let's get started with our presentation here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to go from here. So have you tried that crazy wrap thing? This crazy wrap is amazing. It's super easy. You simply take it out and you unfold it and you can apply it anywhere from your chin down. And so you can put it on your arms, you can cut it in half, you can cut it to fit anywhere you want. You can do your legs, your thighs. Most people start out with their tummies. You could do your back. Pretty much anywhere from your chin down you can put this wrap. It's very affordable at only $25 to try the wrap. A full treatment of the wrap, however, is a box of 4. Okay, so a box of 4 wraps is a full treatment. And when you do a wrap, you can typically see results in as little as 45 minutes. So again, you simply take it out, put it where you want, and you can see results in as little as 45 minutes. I mentioned from the chin down because we also have a facial applicator that you can, it's specific for the skin on your face, and it's going to work very similarly as the wrap, except for the skin on the face. So you leave that on for 45 minutes as well. And you can, this is a ton of fun. You can, do a wrap party or line and wrinkles party or whatever in order to apply some of these products and try them. This is what it does. It actually tightens, tones, and firms in as little as 45 minutes. It reduces the appearance of cellulite. It gives you fast and lasting results from our botanically based formula. And it's a first-to-market product, so there's not anything out there quite like it. And you can only get it from an It Works distributor, which is exciting for us. But you can see the photo there, the difference in only 45 minutes, how much that can make. Here are a couple of other before and after pictures to give you an idea of, 1 wrap, 2 wrap, a full treatment like I mentioned earlier is 4, that's at the top, and you can really see a dramatic difference in all those pictures. So pictures are huge. You want to definitely take pictures when you're wrapping. We do have an amazing loyal customer program. This program actually allows customers to get discounts on our products. So as a loyal customer, that's the biggest perk. In addition to being able to earn free shipping and even free products. So a loyal customer is someone that purchases 1 item a month for 3 consecutive months in a row. It doesn't matter what product you choose to start with. You're going to get that product at our wholesale pricing, and then you can choose additional products for the next 2 months after your first order. So earlier I mentioned 1 wrap is only $25, but a full treatment is a box of 4 would cost $100 for a box of 4. But as a loyal customer and that wholesale price, you can actually get that box of 4 for only $59. So that's a significant savings there, 40% savings. So in front of you, the company has actually given us some different packs that products that work really well together and gives you some savings on these packs. So I'm going to go through those with you here. The first one is called a wrap pack. It comes with a box of wraps and our itty-bitty defining gel. Our defining gel, it has a lot of the same ingredients as the wraps, except way less concentrated, so you can use it all over your body daily. Whereas the wrap, you actually only wrap every 3 days. Okay, so you can do one wrap every 3 days. Whereas you can apply defining gel in between those days of wrapping. So the retail price of this wrap pack is normally $115, but as you can see, as a loyal customer, you can get it for only $69. So that's a savings of $46 with that pack, which is a great deal. Then we have our skinny pack. This is our most popular pack because you really do get a nice assortment of products here. You get the full box of applicators, the full bottle of defining gel. You can see the difference between the mini and the full bottle there. And then we introduce our fat fighters to this pack. The fat fighters is a fat and carb blocker that you take 15 minutes to an hour after you eat. And it's going to help absorb about 30% of the fat and carbs you intake. So if you're like me and like pizza or pasta or burgers, this would be a great product to take to help you with that. Now this pack retails for $189, but as a loyal customer, you can get it for $112. So again, a great savings there of $77. The next pack is actually our IT pack, and our IT pack comes with, we introduce our skincare into this pack. So you get a full box of 4 wraps. You also get a full box of facial applicators in with this one, the facials that I mentioned earlier. You get the full bottle of defining gel. And on this one, we're going to introduce our lifting lip and eye cream, which is something that you can apply right below your eyes and over your eyelid to help tighten up that skin, which will really help open up your eye. I actually just applied it to someone this evening, and her eye, one eye just looked bigger than the other. It was kind of funny. Then we have our greens. This comes with a pack of greens on the go. But our greens come in both an orange flavor and a berry flavor. And it comes in a couple different options. You can get it in a canister of a 30-day supply. There's a canister of a 90-day supply. And then what you have in front of you is the greens on the go. And that is a 30-day supply. So you get 30 little packets there of the greens on the go. So this IT pack is normally $299. But as a loyal customer, you can get it for only $179. That's a savings of $120. That's significant. So that's a great pack in order to get started with on your journey there. All right, so if we talk about all of our products, we'd be here all night, but I do want to just mention a few other amazing products we have. We have a whole other line of health and wellness products. And so we have something for stress called Confianza. We have something for joint pain called Relief. We have amazing multivitamins that include minerals and omega-3s. And we even have something for menopause. One of our more popular items that gives you some pretty quick visible results right now is our hair, skin, and nail supplements. And so you can see from some of these photos, you know, the difference in just a short period of time. I believe actually one of our speakers' photos is in there too, and she'll tell you who she is in a minute here. So let's see, coming back to you here. All right, so you can see we have amazing products that we offer. And with our business, we also have an amazing business opportunity. And so the company actually gives us 3 very simple steps in order to run a business. You know, a lot of businesses out there, to become a business owner, it's kind of complicated. And ours is very simple. Our values are friendship, fun, and freedom. And I can tell you that, you know, these ladies are just a few of the amazing friendships I've created since I've been part of this business. We have a ton of fun. We're getting ready to go to Florida in just actually next week, so that's super exciting. And freedom. I mean, freedom of time, freedom of, you know, bills. Those type of things are just priceless. So I'm going to share with you a few those steps that we have, because they're very simple steps, and then we're going to be able to hear from these ladies here. So give me a second here to get back to our little presentation. So the first step is actually to join the party. You can join the party for as little as $99. With that, you actually get a box of 4 wraps. So you can do one of 2 things with that. You can turn around and sell those wraps and make your money back, or you can use those wraps on yourself so that you actually have your own personal testimonies that you can share with people of how the wraps have actually worked for you. The only requirement that we do have is that you have something called 80 BB auto ship. And what that is, you know, any business that you have, there's going to be a certain amount of overhead or expenses for you to run that business. Well, typically that's thousands of dollars. If you have a salon or a store or, you know, a boutique or anything like that, you're gonna spend a lot of money monthly in order to keep those doors open. But for our business, it's only about $80 a month, which is a very minimum investment. And you can really choose whatever you want to purchase. I always suggest for my new distributors that they start out with a couple boxes of wraps, because that is what they're going to turn around and sell, and then they'll be able to make their money back. Actually, they're going to not only make their money back, they're going to make a profit from it. So that's the $99 kit. In addition to that, if you wanted to get some additional products, we do have something called the mini booster pack that you see there. It's $149, and it comes with 2 boxes of wraps. So you're going to get 8 wraps, a box of facials, so 4 facials, defining gel, full bottle defining gel, a canister of greens, and our fat fighters. So when you go out and do a couple parties with that, you're going to make about $300 in party cash. So that's a great deal. You're going to double your investment there. And this particular pack is actually only available at the time that you enroll. So that's really important. So if you are thinking about doing the mini booster, then you would need to do it when you're signing up. Next, we have the Party Booster, which is actually a little bit more product. This one's going to cost $349, but you're going to get 4 boxes of wraps, so that's 16 wraps. The defining gel, the fat fighters. This one you also get the lifting lip and eye cream and the greens on the go. When you go out and do some parties with this one, then you are going to make about $500 in party cash. So a couple options there. So that's step 1. Step 2 is where you can wrap free. I mentioned earlier what a loyal customer was. And so when you get 4 customers in your first 30 days, you're going to earn 2 boxes of wraps for free. So then you can turn around and sell those wraps, and you're going to make a $200 profit. So that's a great deal. Along with that, every time you get 2 loyal customers, and this is forever, this doesn't include the first 30, or it does include the first 30 days and beyond, then you're actually going to be able to earn something called a wrap reward, where you can buy a box of wraps for only $25. So that's a great incentive there in order for you to be able to get additional loyal customers. Step 3 is actually a $500 guarantee, which states if you do step 1 and 2, so you join the party and you get 4 customers in your first 30 days, and you have 3 friends join you, and they each do step 1 and 2, so they join the party and get 4 customers in their first 30 days, then the company guarantees you're going to make at least $500 in your first 2 months. If you don't, they will pay you the difference. And that there are not very many companies out there that will guarantee an income just by following their simple steps. And ours does. And so that's a great opportunity there. Now you're probably wondering what everybody makes. This is actually an average annual income for distributors at different ranks in the company. And so I want to stress it is an average, so there are people that may make less and there are people that definitely make more. Okay, so this is an average. So as a distributor, the annual average is about $750. So to me, that's probably somebody that's using the product and got a few loyal customers, and so they're really paying for their product with their income that they're making. Then we have executive. The average annual executive income is about $3,100. So we're looking at about $250 monthly. You know, that might be gas for the month or groceries for the month. You know, you can do a lot with an extra $250. Next up, we have Ruby. The average annual Ruby income is $5,600. So now we're getting up there to more $450, $500 range monthly. And there's a statistic out there that states that there are several households out there, American families, that are $300 to $500 away from bankruptcy. And at this level, it could really help someone avoid that type of situation. Then we have Emerald. Emerald, the average annual income is about $10,000, about, you know, a little over $10,000. So now we're looking, you know, $850, $900 monthly. That's really starting to put probably a dent in maybe debt that you have, or just an extra income maybe for a remodel, or, I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with extra income. Then we have Diamond. Diamond is the level that our company CEO, Mark Pentecost, says you have a license to print money at Diamond. And there is actually a bonus that we have right now called the Good Bonus. It's a $10,000 bonus that you are eligible to earn if you were to get started in the month of July. And so talk to the person that invited you tonight, and you can get some more details about that $10,000 good bonus. And that good stands for get out of debt. Okay, and I actually earned that bonus, and I think there are several others on the call that have also earned that bonus or other bonuses similar to it. So it is definitely attainable, and lots of people can get it. So the average annual income for Diamond is $23,000. So we're looking at almost $2,000 monthly, which this is typically the level that, you know, moms are able to take their kids out of daycare and stay home, because sometimes this is better income than paying for daycare. Daycare is very expensive. So Diamond is a great level to achieve, and it really starts to open up the rest of the compensation plan. Then we have our Double Diamond. Now at Double Diamond, you can see there's quite the jump there, from $23,000 annually to $54,000 annually. Okay, and so we are going to come and talk to Miss Jessica, who I know is dying to let you hear from her. So Jessica, I need you to unmute yourself. And so, and then we're going to hear from her.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So, Jessica, tell us who you are and where you're from.
My name's Jessica Delgado. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, but I've lived in Miami for the past 20 years.
Nice. And how long have you been with It Works?
Since May of 2012.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about how you got started with It Works.
Well, it started 8 months before that. My best friend growing up my whole life called me on the way to her launch party and told me about the wrap, and I laughed at her and almost like hung up on her. I didn't want nothing to do with it. She sold Tupperware, and I just knew she was into selling things and doing things like this, and I was just so petrified. I didn't believe it worked. And so for 8 months, I just watched her and watched her. And the final straw was my husband on Facebook wrote that he hated his job. It was very hot out. And so Farrah wrote underneath, "Get your wife into It Works and she'll retire you." So last month, I retired my husband, and it was my 2-year anniversary.
Oh my God, that is so amazing. Congratulations. That is exciting. So tell us, like, once you got started, like, you know, how has your life changed since you started? Besides retiring your husband, because that's huge.
My life has changed a lot. I went from being a full-time bartender and waitress, and I always worked weekends and holidays and double shifts, and I was just a stressed out, unhappy mommy, and it was just really hard. And I worked really hard. That was one thing my parents taught me: work hard your whole life. So when I was poor, I would just go pick up more shifts, and it was just digging me a bigger hole when you'd have to pay for daycare or day camp. And so I struggled a lot. I did not have the $99 to join. I pulled it from the rent money that I had. I had an eviction notice on my door, and I just put it back as soon as I could and just built my rent money up to pay my rent. So I was really, really broke when I started, like beyond broke.
Wow. So what did you do to get that money so quickly? Were you posting on social media, or were you just getting out there and blitzing people? Like, how were you able to get that money back, that return back quickly? Because you had to get it back quickly.
Right. I had 3 launch parties in a row. Farrah flew in from Michigan on a Thursday night. I picked her up at Fort Lauderdale Airport, and we went to a green carpet event, and that's where I met Stephanie Dunn. So the night before my 3 launch parties, I got this big boost of, oh my gosh, I couldn't, this energy and women crying and all kind of, it was just amazing. So my first wrap party, 1 person showed, and I was so embarrassed because Farrah flew in from Detroit to do this. And my second one, it was really successful. I had 15 people showed. I got 4 loyals. On my third one, another 10 people showed, and I got more loyals. So I got my loyal customers, my free product right away, and I made my money right back. So I was very happy about that.
I'm so glad you didn't give up after that first party, because I know sometimes that defeats somebody. Like, oh my gosh, this doesn't work. Nobody showed up. But then the next party, to have so many, that's awesome.
Yeah, my family was very supportive, and they all came and tried to wrap. So they were great.
That's awesome. So tell us, what's an aha moment you've had in this business?
There's been so many aha moments, but I feel like now it's to the point where when you can help another mommy that was in my situation, when I can tell her where I came from and how I'm just a high school dropout, and I can feel like you can relate to these people and you can help them do exactly what we did. So that's a big aha moment when you realize it's not just about me and my paycheck. It's like I want to help other mommies do this too. So that's one of the biggest aha moments, is really helping people, and being there for your kids is a really big aha moment. Not having to do day camp and daycare, but there's so many aha moments. I could sit here all day. The biggest one is I'm just a totally different person. I'm excited about life. I can sleep at night, and it's just crazy. Just never give up is the biggest advice I can say, because there are ups and downs, and you have to just stick with it.
Awesome. So I'm going to take that as maybe your business tip, or did you have another one?
Okay, well, yeah, that's my business tip for sure, is don't give up, definitely. And I think being positive and consistent every day makes a big difference. When you take a week off or take a month off, it's even harder to get back into it. So be positive every day, and, that's my business tip.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica, for sharing your story with us. I don't know, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm totally starstruck. I'm talking to you, and Shelby Bowman is on this. I can't believe it. Like, I followed her forever. Like, I stalked her from the get-go. Like, I'm just starstruck with all of you. I'm just so blessed to be here. Thank you.
Well, I'm happy to have you. Thank you so much for sharing your story. All right, so let's take it out back to my presentation for a second here. And so the next level we have is triple diamond. So this is just, you can see the big jump there, again, from double to triple, almost doubling. This is 6 figures annually, which is just insane to even think about. But the average annual income for triple is almost $105,000. Okay, so it's a great income at that level. So we are actually going to talk to Miss Valerie here. Valerie, can you hear me?
Can.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. All right, so Valerie, tell us who you are and where you live.
So I'm Valerie Taylor, and I live in Johns Creek, Georgia, the northeast side of Atlanta.
Okay. And when did you get started with It Works?
March 26th of 2012. So I've been in a little over 2 years and 3 months now.
Awesome. And how did you get started?
So a friend of mine called me one day. We were good friends from a previous business, and she called me one day that she'd been to this wrap party, and she said, "Oh my gosh, you got to go to this wrap. You got to look at this." So I started taking a look at what she had. I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I was blown away. We talked for like 10 minutes on the phone, and I was like, "Really? Are you kidding?" So I was driving down the road, and I pulled out my credit card, and she was on her computer, and I gave her my credit card number driving down the road. I tell everybody I'm probably the easiest sale anybody ever had.
That's awesome.
I'm a pushover.
So tell me, how did you really get started with your business? Like, once you gave her that card number, what did you do? How did you get to work?
Well, when I got started, I was working another business, so I wasn't going to do this full time. This was going to be a part-time thing. So I started talking to some people, and little by little, like within 2 weeks, I remember sitting down with Patty Tucker, my upline triple diamond, and I sat down with her one day, and it was like I had only been in like less than a week. And I said, "Look, I'm just going to do this on the side. I'm going to focus on my other business. It's just going to be a little thing." Well, it wasn't 2 weeks, and I realized I had something that I didn't have in my other business. All of a sudden, people were interested, and I would share that Blitz card, and they'd be like, "Yeah, even today, I was out blitzing today. I was out, I blitz, lifestyle blitz, and I was out working today. I didn't have one no. I never get no's. I always get phone numbers. So I couldn't do that in any other business I was ever in. So it was easy to get started.
Nice. So you said you always get phone numbers. I know people are probably curious out there. How do you get phone numbers when you're out blitzing?
Oh, that's easy. I used to have pull out my iPad or my iPhone, and I'd show people pictures. Now I just say, "Have you heard of that crazy wrap thing? This is what it is. This is what it does." And then I'll pull out my phone. My phone's never far from me. I'll pull out my phone. I'll say, "You know what? If you just give me your phone number, I'll text you some before and after pictures." And virtually, I'd say 19 out of 20 times I get a phone number. And
nice.
then I have a way to follow up with them.
Absolutely. It's funny. We had talked about this yesterday. And I do the same thing, and I probably jumped the gun a little bit before you would. When people say, "Does it work?" I'm like, "Yes. Give me your phone number and I'll text you some pictures." So either way would totally work in that situation. So I love that. How has your life changed since you've been doing It Work?
This is the part I get emotional about because it's night and day difference. My husband was a contractor and had been we're 31 years married now, and he'd always been a contractor. In fact, I worked with him he was a tile contractor, and in many years I worked with him. Hard physical labor. I was capable of installing a tile floor or a tile shower or something. So, but about 5 years ago, or maybe 6 years ago, I put that down. I said I couldn't do it anymore. It was too physical for me. So, but he continued doing construction, and when the economy tanked, his income was up and down and up and down. He'd get a real good job, and then we'd have good money, but then he wouldn't get another job for another month, so we had to make that stretch. There were months that I had to, every month there was juggling the bills. Am I going to pay the power bill or the gas bill? Am I going to, you know, we knew we had to put gas in the car. We knew we had to keep the cell phones on to keep business coming in, but it was always a juggle with our bills. And now when we get paid on the 15th, I sit down, usually by the time the money transfers to my account, around the 16th, I'll pull out my iPad and one by one I click through bills just like that. They're all paid, they're all done. It's so different. And we didn't used to do that before. I know every girl on this phone, you know, feels the same way. It's awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. So can you give us a business tip that you may have for some of the distributors out there that are watching or people that are thinking about getting started?
My current business tip, you know, and it changes depending on where I'm at. But at the moment, Crystal, like I shared with you yesterday, we all hear in this business that we have to follow up, and we all know that. We all know from even before we get in. And I often say that I learn as much from my downline as I do my upline. One of my diamonds, Anita Williams, if you're listening tonight, she came to me with this spreadsheet at conference, and she said, look at this spreadsheet. She was so excited. It was this spreadsheet, and she was so excited about it. But her spreadsheet, now she's a teacher, and she writes real tiny. And her spreadsheet had 30 lines on it. And for months, I looked at that thing. I was like, I can't do that. And then one day, here last Thursday, it struck me, I can take that spreadsheet and tweak it and do anything I want to with it. So I did. I turned my spreadsheet into 10 lines per page. So it's much more doable for me. I also took out the email column because I don't get emails typically from people. Most of my contact is text and phone. So I took that column out. And then I went through my phone, and literally, this phone, I pulled 112 leads out of my phone that had scrolled down in my phone. In your messages, there are people, you know, I always get phone numbers, and they'd scroll down, and I had lost them in my messages. So I put every one of them on my spreadsheet. I have a way to identify them now on my phone, and they transfer back and forth. And oh my goodness, just in the last few days, I have stirred up so many wrap parties and wraps, and I've already signed a loyal just from the follow-up that I've done in the last 2 days. So my business tip to anybody listening is, you know, we all hear it. So it's follow-up, but beyond that, it's find yourself a system that you can follow every single day. I've got this clipboard, and every day I'm looking at it, and I put little Post-it notes beside their names when I'm in active conversation with them. So whatever you do, find a system. Another one of my distributors uses a spiral notebook. It doesn't matter what you do, but be methodical and diligent and focused with it, and don't let it go. Latch onto it like a dog with a bone and just dig in, and don't stop following up, because that's where the value is. I can blitz all day long, but if I don't follow up, it's not going to help.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Valerie. It was awesome having you on tonight, so thank you.
Thanks, Crystal.
All right.
Appreciate you having me.
Of course. All right, so I will just share briefly, because I also am at the triple diamond level. I started in January of 2012. And I saw a post on Facebook. I, too, was actually at another company at the time, and this post was from someone that had hosted parties for me previously in my other business. And it said, my mom dropped a couple pan sizes in 3 days. And I was like, what? That's not possible. And so I messaged her and asked her, what is this? What is this wrap you're talking about? And she sent me some information. and I grilled her. I asked her every question in the book because I wanted to know. And when she said it was only $25, I thought, well, if it could do that and it only costs $25, everybody would want it. And so I went to a meeting that they had a couple days later, and a girl wrapped me in the bathroom of the Ram after I had a burger and a drink, and I dropped a couple pant sizes in 3 days. So I was sold, definitely, and I, too, again, was really busy with my other business, and so I had to kind of balance that out initially, but then after 2 months, I just was completely done with that other business. And actually, I went diamond and got the good bonus in 2 months, and so that's why I was completely done with that other business. And it was really utilizing social media, and on Facebook, I had so many people respond. I just posted something and said, I'm thinking about having a wrap party that helps you tighten, tone, and firm. If I have one, who would come? And 37 comments later, I was ordering a ton of wraps because I was like, if all these people show up, I need to be able to wrap them. And so it really just took off from there. And fast forward, a year. I was actually a college professor when I first started, and I was able to walk away from that position as a professor and an advisor at a community college and do this full time. And so that was really amazing for me because I never thought I could be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, my daughter's 12, but it is nice to be a stay-at-home mom when she gets out of school and to be here in the summer to do the fun things that she wants to do. Like yesterday, we spent all day at the pool, and before I would never have been able to do that. And so the freedom of time is huge for me. Recently, my mom was really sick. She actually had lung cancer, and I was able to be there with her the entire time, every doctor's appointment, every procedure. She stayed in the hospital for a week, and I was there with her the entire time. And, again, prior to, there's no way I would have been able to do that. And she is completely recovered now, so then she no longer has cancer, so I'm very grateful for that. But for me to be able to be there for her during that process is priceless because no one else was able to do that because everybody else had to always go back to work. So freedom of time is something that I think a lot of people can only imagine to be able to own their own time. So that's one thing I'm totally grateful for. And I think that's kind of my aha moment. But just being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, that's huge. My business tip, I've shared this tip to my team before and at some One Team One Missions in the past, but it's something called 10 minutes before bed. And this is where you're going to, every night, you're going to designate one notebook to just sit next to your bed. And every night, you are going to write down a few things. You're going to write down, it's like really a recap of your day. And so you're going to write down you're going to start out with your income goal. And so if you, let's say your income goal is $25,000 a month. I'm just going to throw it out there, okay? You would write, my income is $25,000 a month, as though it's already achieved. And then what you write is your prosperity events. So the things that you have done that day to work your business. So, listening to this wrap party or watching this wrap party would be one, or blitzing 5 people, or whatever you've done that day to work your business. Then you're going to write down your value events, things that you value, things that like spending all day at the pool with my daughter, or a date night with my husband, or I drank, my full serving of water for the day because I don't always do that, or I worked out today or ran around the track 4 times. Things that you don't normally do that you value. And then the last thing is your gratitudes, things that you are grateful for that day. And so you write those things down, and then at the end, you once again write down that income goal. My income is $25,000 a month. And you sign it. And you do that every single night. And you do it right before you go to bed. If you're one that watches TV or reads a book or whatever, you do that literally right before you go to bed so that it's the last thing on your mind so your mind can work for you. Okay, the unconscious mind does some amazing things for you. So that is my tip. If you missed it, this is recorded. You can go back and watch it again and write those things down. So I'm going to move on to some amazing presidentials that I have on the call. If I can get my mouse to work. Yep, there we go. Okay. So coming back to my little PowerPoint here. Okay, where are we? Here we are. All right, so the next level is Presidential Diamond. And again, a nice big jump there from triple to presidential. And the average annual income for presidential is almost $194,000 annually. And I always say this, but I know when we get to these top 3 numbers, people start to look at this like, that is not possible. But there are 2 ladies on the call that are here to tell you they definitely are, because they are both at that level. And so I'm actually going to start out with Mindy because she's a brand new presidential. And so Mindy, if you want to unmute yourself, can you hear me?
I can. I'm unmuted.
Okay, awesome.
Hi.
Hi. So Mindy, tell us who you are and where you live.
My name is Mindy K. Ray, and everybody thinks we live in Fort Worth, Texas, but we really don't. We live in a little bitty town outside of Fort Worth called Saginaw. So there's more than one Saginaw. There's Michigan and Texas. So,
oh my
yes.
God, I did not know that. I really did think you lived in Fort Worth. So that's interesting to know.
Yeah.
All right. So how long have you been with It Works?
Actually, this is my 3-year anniversary month. July 1st of 2011 is when I started with It Works.
Awesome. And so you are, I mentioned, a brand new presidential diamond, and so you actually earned a $50,000 bonus the month before, right?
Yes, for May, we did, and Cornbread will be, he's around here somewhere. He earned a $25,000 bonus, so all total, Mark has given us $85,000 worth of bonuses.
That is insane. I love it. Congratulations.
It is.
All right. So tell us, how did you get started with It Works?
I had a previous MLM, and so when we get to the aha moments, there's a couple there. There's a couple with the business, but had a previous MLM, and the girls on that team had gotten me what's called a Wrapped in Wellness gift certificate. It's a spa detox body wrap, and so I went and did it. And I had to sit there for 2 solid hours wrapped up so tight that I couldn't move. And when I asked her how much it was to do it again, she was like, oh, it's only $160. And I was like, okay, well, maybe if it stays off, it might be worth doing again for a special occasion, but certainly not, something that you could do at home every day. So it didn't stay off. It was all back in 3 days. No, never going back.
Gotcha. So then, how did you find it worked?
Oh, and so I was at a craft fair, and I saw the table, and I saw the, have you tried actually it wasn't have you tried this crazy wrap thing yet, but I saw her pictures, and I did the whole, yeah, whatever. And so she was like, no, really, if you try it, if you do a party, your wrap is free, and so you've got nothing to lose. And so called my girls in, and it wasn't so much as pant sizes that got me. It was how it actually fixed some tummies. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we see some pretty unbelievable stuff in a matter of 45 minutes, and that's what got me. So I was like, women will pay millions. They will pay millions. So I'm going to go ahead and sign up right now so that all my friends and family can go under me. And that's what happened.
Awesome. So tell us how things have changed in the 3 years since you've been doing this business. How's your life changed?
Oh, like insane. When I found this cornbread, y'all, my husband's name is Cornbread, just so you know. I'm not talking about a piece of bread in a skillet. So, he had gone overseas to Afghanistan to get us out of debt. Contractors do very well, and prior to that, he worked from before we got out of bed until after we went to bed. And I owned an in-home daycare for 12 years, so I was a slave to that, just to bring in extra money and stay home with my girls. And so he found this, and his original plan was to do 2 years or 4 tours, so twice a year and then twice the second year. And when he got home, I was like, babe, I think I'm onto something, so let's not send you back. Don't do the second one, and find something local where I can go do wrap parties. And he was like, whatever, lady, but I don't want to go back, so okay. And so now, May of 2013, he was actually able to quit that job, and he became rewired and started working the business with me. And so life has changed, just like Valerie said. The money comes around on the 15th, and it's like bill, done. Vacation, funded, done. Savings, done. Business expenses, done. And money left over. So it's insane how those incomes, they're true. They're true incomes on that chart. And with a little bit of hard work, at 3 years, you can be making more than most people that go to school for a 4 to 6 year degree, and they come out with more student loans than they ever thought. They can't even get ahead because of so much debt to go to school to get that degree.
Right.
We don't have that. I don't have any student loans. And I don't have a college degree either.
Well, good. I'm glad you don't have any student loans and that you're achieving your debt goals.
Yes.
So, tell us what you said you had some aha moments already that you knew you were going to share.
I do. I have, there's some people, there are some ladies on the team, and I'm going to piggyback off of Valerie, because Valerie, what she was saying, literally, we changed our entire business when we started not to be afraid of the follow-up. So I reached around a while ago, and this is my little notebook, and in it, I don't know if you can see that, but there's some really big lines, Valerie, because I write big. And I started, if someone, puts, yes, I want to be a distributor, but I can't do it till the 15th of next month, I actually put that on my calendar. And whenever I come around to maybe the 13th or 14th, I'll say, I have a note to touch base with you, that you still wanted to join the business on the 15th. Are you still thinking about doing that? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, yes. If you just follow up with them and don't let it slip their mind, same with a loyal customer, I get paid next Friday. Put that on your calendar, just like a wrap party, just like a date, just like you were going to meet them at Starbucks. My calendar is entirely a whole different situation nowadays. I need more room. And so that's one thing. Another aha moment still is, I went to Vegas in 2012 with my sister as a diamond, and I was getting ready to go double, and I would not dare put $1 in a slot machine, not $1. I was like, I will save it and bet on my business. So that was April, and at the end of that month, I went double. So that was astounding. But, and Crystal, you were there. You were at Vegas of 2013, you know, when we went in May. And
I was.
it was so crazy to be able to go from not putting $1 in a slot machine and saving all your money earlier to a year later, I threw a $70 steak away. I mean, my husband was like, "Do not get that steak, honey. You are not in Texas." And it was a terrible steak, and I don't want to eat it. And so, you know, just the kind of, you know, to be in Vegas, to take my 16-year-old on a dream trip to New York City, to go to Mexico in August with our daughters, and then turn around and go back to Mexico in December with just he and I. Now, we focused on the business the first 6 months of this year to go presidential. We put in the hours. But now we're getting ready to take our 2 daughters to Florida for 2 weeks. That's crazy to know that we can just work our business while we're down there, to go back to Vegas and Jamaica in December. Who takes multiple vacations?
That is crazy. We got to talk about that December trip, because I didn't know about that one. But awesome. Thank you so much, Mindy, for, I don't know, where'd that come from? For joining us tonight.
Hi, Jamie in the background going, "Call her Wendy, call her Wendy."
No, he's not that bad. Okay, so next up we have Miss Shelby. Shelby, I need you to unmute yourself, my dear.
All right.
Hi, so he poked himself in a little bit.
Oh, I what?
Oh, I was just saying Jamie wanted to say hi. He's gone now.
Oh, hello. He can still hear me. Hi, Jamie.
Shelby, I cannot wait for everybody to hear your story. So tell us who you are and where you're from.
I am Shelby Bowman, and I'm from near Salt Lake City, Utah. If I said the city, you wouldn't know. So I'm by Salt Lake City.
Okay. And how long have you been with It Works?
I have been with It Works for 3.5 years now.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about how you got started with It Works.
All right. Sorry, she was down for a nap, but she wanted to be involved. It's okay. It's a family business. They can be here. I found this business actually on Facebook. I was just entering giveaways for my daughter. It was like December 2010, and we were teenage parents, so we didn't have a lot of income then. I was 19 years old when I was searching for this. Well, I wasn't searching for it, I just found it. But I was entering giveaways because we couldn't afford a Christmas for our daughter. So the only way that we could have given her anything was to enter to win free prizes. I mean, I probably won about 25 hair bows. But hey, she loved them Christmas morning. She was a girly girl. But I also entered in for the wrap because, again, I was a teen mom. I did not have the body that a 19-year-old should have after, you know, I had a baby. I had stretch marks. I had loose skin. So I wanted to try it out. I didn't win. But when tax returns rolled around in February, then I bought myself a box of wraps. And that night, after I tried my first one, I joined the business instantly. I'm like, okay, well, this is amazing. I have never been able to achieve that with my body in such a short amount of time. I'm signing up because other people are going to love this.
Awesome. So tell us what has changed since you started.
Oh my goodness. So I'll be ready for the next hour. Just kidding. So again, we were teen parents. I was going to school full time. My husband was a security guard 70 hours a week. Oh my gosh, we never saw each other ever because he worked at night. Slept during the day while I went to school. He would kind of sleep by the front door to make sure that our 3-year-old wouldn't escape because that's the only time he got to sleep and I had to be away. So he gave her some snacks and that's what we had to do. And it sucks. I mean, that sucks. Like, yeah, you weren't awake playing with your kid. No, but I mean, all the cabinets were locked. She was safe when we were there, but that's just how we had to get by. And he was also in the Army National Guard preparing for deployment. So after joining this business, about every single month, he'd be like, oh, you're actually making some money. I'm actually surprised by that. He told me you never know unless you try when I asked him about it. So he was very supportive, but I don't think that he actually thought I would do well. So each and every month, I would slowly start to get closer to what he was making in his business, working 70 hours a week. So when I finally made above that, he goes, okay, well, hold on. Like, I don't have to be doing this anymore. We were living off that. Let's just be home and we can figure this out as well. So he quit his job, and again, he's still preparing to deploy, so he was still busy with that. But we were building this business, and I was a double diamond at that time. Within 5 months, I got to double diamond. So we were making a pretty good income then. We started to finally see the results from this business. And let me tell you, everyone's different. If you did not make double diamond, if you're just barely a distributor in 5 months, that's okay, because it's your own journey. Don't compare it to anyone else, because I'm not ambassador yet, 3 years down, 3.5 years down, and there's people that have done it in 7 months. And I'm like, oh, I wish I was them, but you know what? I have my own journey. It'll happen in time. So don't compare yourself. Let me just say that right there. So we were moving forward. He was going to deploy in August, and they ended up canceling it. So we were super excited for that. And then they canceled his deployment, so we decided we'd have another little baby. And so we got pregnant with her, and 2 weeks later they said, hey, you're deploying actually, and you'll be deploying. Oh, I think like something just crashed into my house. That was. I'll go check that out in a second. But when he deployed when I was 5 months pregnant, 4 days later I left my first conference, and I just remember walking into conference with like tears streaming down my face. I didn't let anyone else see it. I mean, I hid it from everyone else, but it was just because seeing that room of people, I saw hope. And, you know, I was in the back seat. I was that person's like, I'm never going to get up there. You go look at it. I'm never going to get up there. But, you know, I still kind of had the hope, like, you know what, maybe actually I can, after hearing all the stories. And when my husband was gone, when he was overseas, I went Presidential Diamond. So I was still working my business while I was gone. I was actually still in school as well, so I was still a full-time college student. Busy person. But then sorry, a little distracted. And then I had our daughter while he was gone. The hard part about that was that he wasn't able to be there when she was born. He didn't even meet his daughter until she was almost 4 months old. So that's kind of what broke my heart, because, I mean, a parent should be able to be there for that moment. But that's why I'm doing this business, is because the freedom of a time that allows us. Tyson doesn't have to miss things anymore. He gets to be home to see her. I mean, when she was walking, he got to see everything like that. And so that's why we're doing this business, again, for them, so that we have all the time for them to go on vacations. We got to treat our daughter to Disney World, our oldest one, who was so asking about it repeatedly. We got to do, honey, be quiet. We got to do stuff like that. And, I mean, that's why, you know, just the family time, something that another business wouldn't have allowed us to do. And again, we were in another job, and it didn't allow us. So we know very well that this is the life that we want.
Absolutely. That is phenomenal. Now, I know we were talking the other day, and you had said you have a big milestone that you just recently hit. Do you want to tell us a little bit about, hopefully, nothing that crashed into a brand new house?
Oh, no, my husband just walked in, so maybe he dropped something. I don't know. Maybe the garage door came falling down. I don't know. But wait, what milestone was that?
The house.
Oh, yes. I'm like, there's quite a few of them that we talked about. So when I first started, we were living in low-income housing. We hardly, I mean, again, had any money. And now we just built our dream home, and we live in our dream home. And I mean, it's a dream come true. We have been able to do so many different things with this business.
Awesome. So what do you think is an aha moment that you have had since you started?
An aha moment for me is that anyone can do this. I mean, looking at the different stories, I always give people who are interested in this business a success magazine. I'm like, read the stories. Or I even ask them, hey, what do you do for a living? And if they tell me well, obviously they'll tell me what they do. But when they tell me what they do, I show them the story of the teacher, the salon owner, the shoot, I'm spacing it now. The teen mom, the military wife, the stay-at-home mom. I'm showing them all the different stories and how they can do it too. I love that it doesn't matter what education you have, how old you are, what job you had before this, what experience you had. This is my first job ever. So, I mean, no experience there. It doesn't matter where you come from. You can make this business happen.
Perfect. And then to give us a business tip. What's a tip that you can give for everybody out here?
Yeah, I want you to be all in. I want you to get on these. I want you to get on these online wrap parties and listen to different stories. I want you to get on conference calls, updates from the corporate world, you know. I want you to get on. Hey, girls, please stop. Goodness, she's supposed to be napping. I want you to just get all in. I want you to find people that you relate with. I want you to find people that you relate with in this company. Maybe it's a teen mom. Maybe it's the military wife. Again, maybe it's just a bunch. I mean, maybe you relate to a few people. You know what? Message them. Talk to them. See how you can use their tips for your success too. And obviously, you're not going to be just like them. Trust me, you're not. You're going to be Jessica Delgado. You're going to be Crystal Welch. You're going to be Mindy K. Ray. And you're going to be Valerie, you know. You're going to be you, but you can use other people to help you succeed. Make sure that you're using all the tools that you have.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Shelby. I think that, you know, this was just, it really does show you that it doesn't matter. You know, I hear a lot of people that use their children as an excuse. Their children are their why, but they use their children as their excuse of why they aren't building this business. And so for your kids to be around right now, I think that's perfect because it really does show, like, it doesn't matter. You know, you can take your kids with you when you're lifting. You know, my daughter has been with me when I'm going to wrap people and things like that. So perfect. Thank you so much for sharing.
Exactly. Thank you so much for having me. And it's okay. I mean, other moms on here, if you don't have kids, then you probably wouldn't understand. You're like, oh my gosh, let's get her down. But other moms, they understand. They're going to be all over you, and that's okay in this business. I always take them to do things with me. So yeah, it's definitely a family business. Use it to your advantage. Do it for them, don't do it because of them. Like, does that make sense? I probably said that backwards. But don't make them your excuse. That's what I'm trying to say. You know?
Yes, I totally agree. And, you know, with you being so young and starting so young, 19, that's, you know, that's very young to start this business. You only have to be 18 to start. And for you to, you know, rise up through this company, I remember seeing you for the first time at my first event, and she was in your arms. She was, I want to say, 2 or 3 months old, and you had just won Presidential Diamond. And I remember our CNO, Pam Souter, saying that, you know, we have a 20-year-old making an astronomical amount of income. I won't say the number, but she said So I love that. Thank you so much, Shelby, and everyone else that's been on the call. So let me go back and kind of wrap this up here this evening. So just a second here. Oops. All right, so the top level in this company is actually Ambassador Diamond, and I had so many amazing people on tonight, I decided not to have an ambassador on, and so, you know, the average annual income for ambassador is over $585,000 annually, which is just insane. We're talking more than $500,000, which is crazy. And so there are several people at that level. When I started, there were 2 people at that level. Now there are 42 people at that level. And make sure that you tune in next week because I will have the very first ambassador in this company on next week. So I'm looking forward to that. So wrapping things up here, you have a choice. You have a choice. You can become a loyal customer and get some products at a discount where you will be able to have your own portal to manage and you know, pick what you want to order and free shipping and get free products with our Perk Points program. Or you can become a distributor and earn money, earn cash, earn bonuses and commissions, help yourself get out of debt, help your family, help your friends, and join us in our friendships, fun, and freedom. We have an amazing time at this company, and I will tell you, it is like no other, definitely. So I want to definitely encourage you to get back with the person that invited you tonight and, talk to them and see if this might be an opportunity that could fit into your life, because this is an amazing opportunity. I want to definitely thank my guests. Thank you, Jessica, Mindy, Kay, Shelby, and Valerie for joining us and sharing your inspiring stories tonight. I cannot wait to see you all in just a week and a half in Florida. I'm so excited about that. And for all of you out there, again, join us again next week, next Wednesday, same place, same time. Different group of leaders as we do our weekly wrap party. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great night. Good night.